Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to Cartoon Karting, where we get oh so wholesome this week with some lovely snow fun. It's going to be great, you know, we're going to chill, it's going to be icy, we'll learn the rules as we go, it's all good. We'll go around and say hello to everyone, but before we do, please take a moment to check out the wall of links that my bot is spamming at you, including all of our social links, all of our, all the places you can go to support us, sponsor information. Please check out Mage Hand Press, present, and Bird in the Storm Publishing, kinda present, they're on my chest. And check out all of their wonderful stuff. Also, we've got a whole bunch of websites where you can get 10 to 15% discount, so check them out too. If you need any tabletop supplies, dice bags, maps, cartography, all of that sort of stuff, check out my sponsors because they're all really, really good. Also, the tweet is really great. Please retweet the tweet, because then when we tweet, we all have tweets, and we all have Twitter and tweet, which makes tweet. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. We'll start this week with Kylie. Oh, hi, Stonefly Kai.
Oh, hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh?
We just relocated.
We did just relocate. That's okay. I'll sort that out. You carry on. How are you doing this week, Kylie?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Awesome. Well, let's go next around to when the camera's in the correct place, which it will be in 3, 2, 1. Edgar Allan Joe. Joe, oh hi.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Who are you? Let's learn a little about you.
I am a huge nerd, obviously. I play a lot of D&D. I run a show called Dear DM, where I talk with dungeon masters about playing D&D. And I'm very excited to learn more about the cyber system, because it seems really fun for the first glance, and I'm a complete noob. So, yeah.
Awesome. So we're getting dropping here? I think someone's losing connection, maybe?
I highly enjoyed how you said D&D just now.
Good old D&D.
D&D.
There it is.
D&D.
Well, we would normally go to Sarah next. Unfortunately, I think they're having some internet issues. We'll see how that resolves. So why don't we go to Mage Hand Press next?
I'm Justin. I'm the community manager for Mage Hand Press. We write stuff for 5e, so I play games in Cypher. No, but I have a whole lot of fun playing. Scrat invited me to play this week to week, and I love it. This time I'm rocking glass just like last week, and super pumped about it.
Okay, I'm just correcting cameras again. It's all good.
The constant struggle.
Yeah, you know, it happens. It's all good, though. It's going to be wholesome as heck.
Yeah.
So, this week, we are planning to play Cypher in a frozen location. And by frozen, I don't mean the musical. We will be playing a game set in the Antarctic, where we will be we'll be racing against each other, but also working together to get through the encounters provided by me, the GM, which I have taken some careful planning and time to make sure that they're all... it's a lie. I haven't planned anything, but I'm sure we'll do something. Why don't we go around and meet our drivers today? Let's start with Glass.
Hello. Glass. I've been around a long time. It's cold.
It is. So you'll all know as you're being introduced that you are in the hotel for the night. Picture a roaring wood fire, log cabin, big sort of hut against the snow and terrible nighttime weather. So you can, though it's cold outside, you will be able to find a bit of safe refuge in here. Next, let's go round to Captain Jack Flash.
Captain Jack Flash is a explorer, a entrepreneur, and most importantly, a celebrity. He likes to race in his free time, which is most of his time, and he rides a very flashy gold-plated motorcycle.
A gold-plated motorcycle. That sounds fantastic. Well, I tell you what, why don't we finish off the drivers first, and then we'll go to Sarah to be introduced and driver and everything. But first, let's go to Maisie.
Hi, I'm Maisie, and I'm a Minotaur, and I'm like black, and I have my markings are like a razor strip down my face and down my back. And while we're at the hotel, of course, I'm wearing a very like flamboyant, large red robe that's like super fluffy along the wrists and like the edges of it. And you know, I'm all right being in your company, but I know I'm just a little bit of a better racer than all of you, so we'll enjoy the evening at least.
Modest too.
Oh yeah.
So welcome back, Sarah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Oh, hi.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully my internet decides to behave, so please send good vibes in this direction. And if it doesn't, we can just imagine I'm wandering off towards some more beautiful sunset. So I play a lot of tabletop role playing, and this is my first time doing Cypher or playing D&D live. So thank you so much. I'm very excited, and I'm so excited to play.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be fantastic. So we're just introducing our racers at the moment, and I've said you can imagine roaring log fires. It's a wooden shack built against the elements. Perhaps large glass panels that you can look out onto the frozen tundra. But otherwise, just a nice, wholesome, hot cocoa area. Where would we find Bonnie?
We find Bonnie. She kind of strolls in wearing an oversized leather kind of duster and chaps, and she's holding an oversized mug filled with something steaming up off the top. We can see some like marshmallows bobbing in it. She's a stocky blonde woman who appears to be in maybe her mid-40s from some of the laugh lines you see on her face, and she's just looking for the most comfortable seat in the room. And we kind of see her like relax down into like a big oversized armchair and say, "Well, howdy, y'all."
And each of you will have been greeted by a woman. You're fairly sure it's a woman and not like a halfling or anything else like that. But she stands 4'5", and even inside she wears this big coat with like a fur around the inside. Actually, even better. She wears this big, like, you know, fur thing the whole time. And she's just like, "Oh, hello there. Well, welcome to the log cabin. Now, whilst you're in here, we're not competitors in here. We're all friends all the time. We're all friends. Now, that goes for all the pit stops as well. So enjoy your evening. The race doesn't start until the morning. So you have a wonderful evening. Please feel free to enjoy yourselves. Partake in all of my victualments and provisions. And if you need anything at all, just let me know."
You are most kind.
Well, thank you, miss. That is some fine southern hospitality, if I didn't say so myself, even though, well, I guess we're up super north this time around.
Do you have rocks?
Do you mean, like ice? Like, you know, when people say, "Hey, can I grab a whiskey on the rocks?"
No. I mean stone.
Well, not so much, no. If you dig down real deep, you might find some stone. But it's gonna be through several meters of ice.
This is inconvenient. but I appreciate the gesture.
Well, that seems utterly problematic for you.
Yes.
Of course, if you need to feel like a little closer to some rock, then we always have the king. And she's gonna pull out an Elvis LP and start putting on some Elvis.
We see Bonnie, like, her head nods a little bit as the music starts playing, then she looks over to Glass. Now, excuse me, what's this about rocks? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with why that might make you more comfortable, but I'd love to learn.
Well, I'm a stone golem. I have been around for a long time to fight weathering. I at times consume rock in ways that you might consume food or nacho or that.
She makes like a, all right, well, thank you, and then takes a long swig on her hot cocoa and eats some marshmallows.
If you find yourself without sustenance, Mr. Glass, I might be able to see if my entourage would be able to fetch some for you at a pit stop or something. They're very handy at finding things.
That would be fantastic.
Billy, if you see rocks, bring them to Glass. Be a dear, won't you?
Can you describe Billy for us? How old is he? Where's he from?
Billy is around like 23, 24. He's very excited to have his first job as an intern for Captain Jack Flash. He's probably from the equivalent of like a small town in like Missouri. Like hasn't seen too much, but is very excited to see the world.
Oh yeah. Maybe trying to copy Jack's accent as well a little bit. So, you betcha, Jack. I'll go look for some rocks, and heads off.
Does he have a speech impediment?
He's doing his best.
That is all we can ask.
And is this an ability or anything like that you'd like to use?
It's not a specific. I mean, it's an ability. In terms of the game, he is a graceful explorer who is idolized by millions. And the thing that comes with that is you have an entourage, which describes just 5 average level 1 creatures at your disposal to do anything except put themselves in danger.
Of course, yeah, and that makes total sense. Billy will go and do that, and I'm sure we'll meet the other 4 as we go. So I know some of you are wondering about the rules. Essentially, the way we do things in Cypher System is we assign things a difficulty. We multiply that difficulty by 3, and that's what you need to roll on a d20 to succeed. Now, fortunately for us, we have a Roll20 API, which does most of the working out for us and tells us if we succeed or not. But it's still good to understand how difficult things are to see if we want to spend any levels of effort or not, because as difficulties go all the way up to 10, and as you can imagine, rolling a 7 or up on a d20 is fairly difficult. So you can reduce the difficulty by being trained, by putting levels of effort in, and we'll explain that as we go. Using effort uses up points from your pool. Edge reduces the cost, but doesn't make them free, and we'll go through all of that. So yeah, you guys have the evening. After a while, the woman who introduces herself eventually as Guinevere, if any of you ask, says, well, now I'll be heading to bed because I get up a little bit earlier than you to go and get the next pit stop ready, go and get it warm and everything. So you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you all, see you all tomorrow night. Have a wonderful race now, don't you?
Of course.
Thank you, ma'am. See you bright and early.
And you will see out of the large window a short time later that she is, in fact, gliding across the tundra on a sled pulled by dogs.
Well, I certainly like the mood in here, but I'm gonna go to bed as well.
Yes, I should probably get my beauty sleep as well. Good night, all. Sleep soundly and have some sweet dreams before the competition begins tomorrow and things get a bit serious.
Enjoy your rest.
Does Glass sleep? How about Bonnie? Do they stay up?
Glass? You go ahead.
Bonnie turns in early for the night, but not before pouring herself another hot mug of cocoa.
And Glass?
Glass, needing no sleep, not being organic, simply stands there in the lobby for hours as time passes, wondering what it is to dream.
And as the carbon dating process takes its toll on Glass, much slower than the humans, of course, we roll around and the sun rises. I think by now the campfire might have gone out. Oh, well, lovely music cue as well. Oh, nearly caught it. It is morning. It is morning, and it's not snowing. It's quite clear outside. You are greeted by a man in a similarly attired to Guinevere. Russian guy, actually. Good morning. I will be starting race today. Everyone form up at starting line. Race begins at 8 a.m. Help yourself to continental breakfast.
Are there rocks?
One of the young lads last night came in. They had found some rocks, mostly pebbles, bought through on transport. I don't know where they found them, but he's clearly a good kid.
Very resourceful. I'm very proud.
And you know, Glass, as you survey these rocks, which have been carefully placed on the continental breakfast, they are mostly sedimentary. There's no fine igneuses here or any metamorphic things. Nothing really that takes time. Just the sort of slapdash sedimentary stuff. So almost like Gollum junk food.
This will do. And Glass proceeds to funnel them into his mouth, like unhinges his jaw a little bit. And...
Of course.
You certainly are an interesting fella.
I have been told that.
Well, I'm gonna go have some breakfast.
Enjoy.
I think I might second that opinion. Now, if all right, and then we see Bonnie. She takes not one but two plates, and is getting herself enough breakfast for probably two people. And then after kind of moving her way down the line and doing like the dance of the two plates, finds like a nice spot in the snow to sit down on with her like waterproof leather duster and just enjoys watching the sunrise.
Jack is just reclining in a chair while his entourage, like his stylist, is getting his hair done. Like someone brings a plate of all the he's on a kick, so just apples. He eats nothing but apples right now, and he's just kind of letting his entourage take care of business while he reads the paper.
Yeah, and I think Tiffany, your stylist, might be talking a fair amount as she's like, I can't believe that they lost the ceramic brush in transport. Without a ceramic brush, I just can't get the same flick on your hair that I normally would. I mean, I'm gonna do the best I can, but honestly, I'm mostly doing it with hairspray, and I'll do the best I can, Jack. Honest.
Tiffany, I know you can work miracles. I mean, do you remember Toronto? You worked miracles with a hairdryer that I've not seen people do since, God, I think David Bowie. I mean, really, you're fine.
I will never forget Toronto. It was the worst. Honestly, I wish I could just never bring it up again. Let's just get this done. Are you going to be wearing a hat today? Because it's kind of cold. People said it's cold. Are you going to be wearing a hat?
Actually, I had an R&D developer. It's a helmet that goes with the suit. Looks very stylish. But don't worry, I'll make sure everything's pristine when it comes off. No helmet hair.
Okay, I'm going to give you a coil down like your forehead, just so people can see you actually have hair and they don't think you're bald or anything like that, okay? Let's just, you know.
Of course.
Might I interject?
Oh, yes, good friend Glass.
What if you made your hair a helmet?
I think that's a little avant-garde for the occasion, but certainly something to consider.
Well, if the concern is helmet hair, why not make hair helmet?
This is some advanced level styling. I think we'll have to consider it. But I think, for now, I think Tiffany knows best. What do you think of that, Tiffany?
And then she's sort of like tapping her. I mean, okay, look, if we were gonna make hair that hard to like get on a safety rating, then it would take more hairspray than I've got access to right now.
So definitely something to look forward to in the future. But thank you, Glass. That is a wonderful idea. Kill two birds with one stone.
Maybe if I could get some like texture clays or something. Like she's 100% thinking this through now.
Clay.
Wait, Glass, can you kill two birds with yourself?
I have. I was sitting down to enjoy a sunset. I did not see the birds underneath. Two birds were killed.
Wait, you sat on them?
Yes.
You know how the saying goes, I guess. It's two birds, one glass. Or one, well, you know.
I thought they might have died by flying into glass, but I guess that only works if glass is a real pain.
No, Scratch. No.
Oh,
Oh man. I tried not to break. Oh.
Made it like 29 minutes.
Yeah, you did
Pretty good.
And you know, you guys, we can have breakfast soon. We can move on to starting time whenever you like. You guys, you know, I'm just here refereeing. You guys carry on. You can see there's no other races. It seems it's just you four. Just you four racing today. You can see there's the Russian guy doesn't have a cart or anything. It seems he's staying here.
I suppose we should go to the race. I kind of would like to get to warmer climates after we're done with this.
Don't worry. My car will be responsible for bringing warmer clients here by itself. Huh.
Well, I'm going to go see about my vehicle. Best of luck to all of you. May we have a wonderful race. And smile for the cameras.
Well, now that I've got a fresh new sunset from somewhere I've never been before, just rushing through my veins, I think it's time to get some speed rushing through them as well. Let's hit that racetrack, all right? And then Bonnie gets up and turns, and she's like joined by a very small entourage of people dressed in the exact same like trench coats and chaps.
Yep. Yep.
Are the cameras still here?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Are the cameras still here?
I mean, I'm assuming that this race is televised. Otherwise, I mean, what's the point?
Wait, are you smiling like that?
Is this not how you smile?
It's an approximation.
Maybe you should go for like a stoic but serious face.
It
I'm
seems
far more
like
comfortable with that. I'll leave the smiling to you lot.
right. It seems like you're real close, but it's maybe like 180 degrees wrong. Like you're going like that, maybe flip it, but you're so close. Don't stop trying.
I'll consider practicing after the race.
And as we get towards race time, the snow begins to flurry around, giving some fresh powder for you all to race on. Those of you who ride on tracks or glide across the snow rather than using wheels might enjoy this. For those of you that aren't, if you are using wheels, let us know how you've modified them to be more effective on snow. Tracks are definitely better, you know, and tracks and rails.
In Jack's case, they have modified his famous Speed Dasher, which is a kind of gold-plated, very flashy, futuristic motorcycle. To have, instead of the two wheels, it's tank treads on the bottom. Still far too flashy to be, just tank treads, but they're functional in this weather. And he has, in addition to his classic battle suit, as it's called, which is a bright yellow, like kind of almost like art, like 60s space suit looking thing with like yellows and reds. He also has like what looks like a space helmet that has like the retro futuristic fins out the back in bright red.
It's beautiful. I can see it.
We see Bonnie rip out of the garage on a motorcycle that's been fitted to look like a set of 3 horses charging forward. And it has the words, the Iron Stampede, just like blazoned on the side. And the only modification that's been made to the tires of these bike is just big, old, ugly, but hardy chains have been put around all of the tires. And she's just like, on a hope and a prayer, this is going to do it.
Wonderful.
Seeing a fellow cyclist, Jack just looks over.
Bonnie tips her like cowboy hat. Respect.
Behind them, you hear like the revving up of an engine, like the way too loud, obnoxious engines. And Maisie drives out her very purple monster truck, and it has like the treads too, like the tank treads. On the back window, there's a decal that says "What's for dinner," and instead of beef, it says "My dust." And anything like that's like on the side is like flames that are made of glitter and fun things like that.
Does it have like the same racing stripe that she does? That's
Yes.
awesome.
Beautiful. How about Glass? Any modifications to Glass's vehicle?
Stone arrives in his H3 Hummer made completely of stone. The tires, now wrapped in metal chain to increase the traction. The fuel this car consumes alone raises the temperature surrounding area by a few degrees. Climate change is certainly coming.
By force, it seems. By force. It looks like he was kind of expecting sleds and things. The guy standing on the start line as you're all rocking up in all these big things. Like, oh, okay. Okay, we all bring big cars. No problem. All right, these are the rules. If someone falls behind, save them. They lost out there, they're dead. Okay, if you don't save your, if everyone doesn't come back, or at least if you don't try to save your competitors, they could die. Okay, and very serious. Death on the option. Death an option today. Watch out for thin ice. Stay away from big ice things as well, especially in that thing. If an iceberg or an ice cliff breaks, you don't want to be under it, okay? Don't be under the ice cliffs. You will see a flare go off at midday and another one go off at 4, showing you the route towards your next checkpoint. Survive first, compete second, okay? Survive first, compete second. Everybody understand loud and clear?
Absolutely.
Crystal clear.
Of course. Okay, well, if all is clear, everybody on my mark, and on the word go, I'd like you all to roll initiative. If you can find your initiative roll, there's a dice roll next to it. 3, 2, 1, go! And he fires a flare in the direction you should be heading.
Is there... Oh, unknown difficulty. There we go.
So we'll see... welcome back, Laura. Sarah, sorry. I don't know where Laura came from. Sarah. When you are ready, please roll some initiative. That's the little badly representation of a dice next to the initiative skill. We can first of all start off by saying that Glass, the sheer length of the speech caused your car to melt the snow and ice around a little bit, and you bed in a little bit, which is why you are last place. We're not going to give you any stalling or anything like that. It's just the reason you came last. I don't think a GM intrusion straight off the bat should be quite that harsh. No, that is true. So we go next in order. So Maisie's monster truck tears forward in the lead, followed by Captain Jack Flash's Wonder Cycle from the future. And not getting away cleanly, but starting without any problems, Bonnie's Iron Stampede will be second to last place. So, here's what we do. Regularly, we would use speed for all actions, but if you have anything special you would like to do that makes you use strength or intelligence instead, just let us know and you can totally use that. To overtake someone is a speed check, which they can defend against. To create distance between someone behind you, it's a speed check, which they can defend against. And to create and to close distance against someone in front of you is a speed check, which they can defend against. So, we'll go down in initiative order, which is also the order of the race, and start with Maisie in the front.
I think that I would just like to gain distance.
Of course. So please roll me a speed check, difficulty 0. This will set the difficulty for Jack's defense. So rolled a 12, which is difficulty 4. Jack, please roll us a speed check of difficulty 4 or greater to prevent Maisie from gaining speed on you, gaining a unit of distance.
Alrighty. And I'm going to apply effort to this as well.
Sure thing.
Which I think is success.
Yes, a narrow success. The effort there, and you can see the API works it all out for you, so please reduce your speed pool by 2. Using the effort costs 3, where you have an edge, so it only costs 2. And using the extra effort, you maintain staying on Maisie's tail, so there is no distance created for you. Jack, you have options. You can try and create distance between the... Well, you can try and create distance between you and Bonnie, or you can try and overtake Maisie.
He's going to try and overtake as the exhaust bursts into like these neon, like reddish beams as the cycle moves a bit forward.
Love it. Yeah, sure. Give us that speed check. Difficulty 0 to set the difficulty.
That would be a nat 20.
Nat 20. Do you have a major effect suggestion?
I would say, let's see, in this case, maybe the boosters like overflare and they make a bright flash, maybe potentially blinding some of the other competitors to gain an edge.
Okay. So you can give a mild condition of blindness to your characters behind you. So Bonnie and Glass, anything that involves being able to see will be one step harder. So perception, recognizing details, maybe navigating if it becomes relevant, but I'm sure that won't become relevant. Sure. So Maisie, you have a difficulty 6 speed roll to make to maintain your lead.
Okie dokie. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna be difficult, I'm afraid.
I'm gonna put... No, I'm not gonna put effort into it. No.
No, I'm afraid you let them pass, and Captain Jack Flash goes into the lead.
Jack, I am not amused by your antics.
It caught me off guard. Completely off guard. Okay? You have to warn someone. So next then is Bonnie. Bonnie, you see Captain Jack just blaze ahead of Maisie, literally blinding you. So you have choices though. This won't affect your driving. You can try and also overtake Maisie to kind of get hot on Jack's tail, or you can try and create distance between you and Glass.
I think Bonnie is a simple, no-nonsense, down-home racer. And as the light blinds her, she closes her eyes and she says to herself, "The sackle knows the way," and then just revs it. And then we hear her cycle's been like tricked out to make like horse hoof stampeding sounds. So we hear that for a moment, and then she's just going to take off, and that's it. She just wants to start.
Yeah, sure thing. Why don't you give us a speed check? I guess if you...
check?
Yeah, give us a speed check, or we'll make it a potential overtake. I think you could possibly follow the light, you know, and we'll have Maisie roll against you.
So would it be difficulty 0?
Difficulty 0, yeah. Difficulty 0, and it'll set the difficulty.
No effort. Okay.
There we go. So that's just difficulty 3. Maisie, can you make me a difficulty 3 speed check, please?
Wow, all this gold is for me?
Forever Charmed coming in with another £50 donation. This is crazy. This is like your 4th one. What are you doing? Thank you so much. Something inside me is telling me to say, please always donate responsibly and make sure you can afford to do things, because I worry about you all and how much you support me. But Bonnie, if you want to do... Not Bonnie. Bonnie's in the race. Forever Charmed, Misty Wolf, if you want to tell us something that you want to do this session, you can see the donation amounts there. I do indeed have some random roll tables prepared, so don't you worry about that. Thank you so much. Smashing our goals, smashing them. Maisie, you roll difficulty 5. You maintain second place. Bonnie just keeps on going. and we come round to Glass.
Well, I've been blinded by the lights, so now I'm going to rev up like a deuce. Honor in the night. And I'm going to go.
Oh, okay. And you're trying to overtake Bonnie?
Yes.
Okay. Bonnie, this is going to be difficult. Please, can you roll me a difficulty 6 speed check? Now,
Okay.
the speed check is a d20 roll, and to beat a 6, you need to roll an 18 or higher.
Oh boy. All right. Let's see if the cycle does actually know the way.
You can put
Eyes
effort in.
closed and gritting her teeth.
Oh! You maintain third place. No matter how much Glass, no matter how much you rev and try and eat up this road, Bonnie's just driving so defensively. How does this look between the two of you?
Bonnie has her eyes closed, teeth grit, revving on the cycle. The sound of 1,000 hoofbeats come out from behind her, and she just is zipping forward. She doesn't even register that there's other racers right now. She's just going.
Glass is focused on the melting track behind him, trying to simply go faster than the ice can melt. He
Valid.
also happens to be playing an old cassette from Manfred Mann's Earth Band while driving.
Okay, could everyone please roll for me? A D100. Okay, fairly high rolls. Fairly high rolls.
This is exciting.
Yeah, so when people donate, we get to roll on a random table, and I'm just picking from those tables now. I think we'll go for the old golden. This one's always a good one. Oh boy, it's a download. Okay. Suddenly all of you feel a little funny. Maybe it's the ice and snow, who knows? Glass, you'll have to find your own explanation, because you certainly shouldn't feel funny. But suddenly you get white moat. You feel like white moats are in front of your eyes, and your nose is suddenly filled with the awful smell of flatulence. Your skin begins to ooze. Or rather, your rocks begin to ooze. And you can see that it is oozing a extremely... it's super glue. It's not quite the glue which name I can't quite remember the name of now.
Gorilla.
I was thinking of the other one, the D&D one.
Sovereign glue.
Versus solvent.
Sovereign. That's it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not quite sovereign glue, but it's pretty strong. You can use that information going forward. Let's
seem
see.
to be in a sticky situation.
Captain Jack Flash. You get the taste of coconut float across the breeze. Suddenly the snow turns to ash in front of your eyes, as it seems you're driving through ash rather than snow, just for a moment. You have a charisma boost. Polite social encounters, or social encounters, will be one step easier for you going forward.
Nice.
Bonnie, You're suddenly very warm. You feel really warm, despite the ice. Maybe you're. This might be worrying because they say that when you get frostbite, you start to feel warm, right? But also, you don't think it's necessarily that because they didn't say anything about the taste of sulfurous boiled eggs.
Just like my nanny used to make.
Roll me a d6. The next 2 items made of metal that you touch begin to rust at your touch.
Oh no, my back! The Iron Stampede's turn into the Rusty Stampede. It's gonna have that dappled look. Because her bike is, of course, made of, like, iron.
Of course, of course.
It's not good.
And Maisie, last but most certainly not least, chicken stock. You can taste chicken stock. And for a moment, it's like you're sort of driving through chicken stock. As you can see, the ground around you, instead of like looking icy and snowy, almost looks a bit like a curry. A very confused octopus appears on your passenger seat. And just, it's not a sentient octopus, it just...
Well, this is utter chaos.
Thank you very much, Forever Charmed, for those wonderful little dips of chaos. Yes, you may use that going on into your next turn. We'll go back to the top of the order, and Jack, it is your turn.
All right. I guess he's just gonna try and maintain his lead.
Okay, you can try and put distance between you and Maisie.
Yeah, he'll try and put as much distance as possible.
Difficulty 0 check, please.
That is a 9.
That is a 9, which means it's difficulty free. Maisie, please beat a difficulty free speed check to maintain the distance.
He's still blinking a little bit to make sure the ash wasn't real.
And
Sorry, I don't know what's going on there, but I got it now. I got it.
You got there. Please someone gif octopus scrap. Mackenzie, you are the worst. Maisie, you managed to hold on. Jack can't quite get away. Maisie, that makes it your turn. You have the option of trying to overtake Jack as Jack overtook you, or creating space between you and Bonnie.
Would this be 2 actions if I wanted to grab the octopus that is sitting in the seat and throw it out my window at Jack and try to like hit him with it so I can get back ahead of him? Would that be 2 actions?
That sounds like you're trying to slow him down.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think could be using a which I think could be a strength roll. To try and overtake. Yeah, try and overtake with a strength roll by using the octopus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you have a minor effect suggestion?
Yeah, I want the octopus, instead of just like hitting him, I want it to like hit the back of his head and like start like wrapping its tentacles around its face and stuff, so he can't see now.
Well, I suppose, first of all, let's see how the defense roll goes. Can you give us...
Would that be might or speed?
It depends. Normally, an attack dodge would be a speed defense roll, but if there's another way that you'd like to defend... so Cypher System is very open to interpretation. There can be a lot of barter between the DM and the player about how you want to do things. So any way you want to do this, I'd say like normal dodging would be speed is my gut, but if you can think of other ways, we can certainly go there.
Well, Captain Jack Flash happens to have specialty in speed defense rolls. So I think he's gonna use that.
Can I use an ability against him too?
Not in the same turn, I don't think.
Okay.
I think one action per turn, unless you have that speed skill thing that some are they adventurers in this system? I can't remember which one's Numenera and which one's Cypher.
Explorers, I think, is the.
Thank you. Yes.
But difficulty 6, right?
The difficulty is 6. It's high difficulty.
Definitely going to be using some effort on this one.
Sure thing.
Nope.
Even with the effort, unfortunately, the squid just grabs hold of your helmet and starts lifting up the visor and getting tentacles inside. It's trying to cling to you as much as possible, and you can also feel it slowing down as it starts to freeze. Yes, it starts to freeze, and with your visor up, so do you. I think... roll me a d4. As a result of this attack, not only do you lose your position, you also take 2 damage. Damage comes off of your might pool first, then your speed pool, and then your intellect pool. So yes, the things that you use to enhance your skills, you also use as HP. If you lose 1 pool, you become disabled, which means you can't move. No, wait. Everything becomes 1 step harder. No, hang on. If you lose 1 pool, you get an inability, which makes everything 1 step harder. 2 pools, you become disabled, which means you can't move. 3 pools, your car is destroyed. And in this case, in the Antarctic, you may die.
Does Edge reduce damage? I forget.
You can't use Edge to reduce damage, but what you can do is use Edge to make things... Edge basically reduces the cost of anything that you use your pools for. So anytime you put effort in, your Edge reduces it by 1. You can see it's doing it for you there automatically in the API. Whenever you want to use a... so that's speed, right? Whenever you want to use a speed ability that costs 1 speed, because you have an Edge in speed, it's free.
Okay.
And 2 points cost 1 point, 3 points cost 2, etc., etc. So, with that resolved, Maisie goes back into the lead. And it is Bonnie's turn.
So Bonnie is watching her beautiful sweet iron stampede start to like rust, I think, starting at the handlebars. And it's like, I think maybe it's slow how it's encroaching on her bike, but she's like, all right, sweet thing, you got this. And she like bangs twice on the hood and then revs it. And so I think we'll do a speed with effort actually put into it, because she's like, time's a ticking.
Sure thing.
It's so speed. So is it difficulty 0?
Yeah, difficulty 0. You'll be setting the difficulty for Jack to defend whilst he's
perfect.
Tentacled.
I'll put in effort 1, which costs me 2. Cool.
It does cost you 2, and sets the difficulty at difficulty. Hang on a second. That would be 5 with the effort. Difficulty 6. Jack, that's a strong... Bonnie's really gunning for it. Can you make me a difficulty 6 defense roll to try and maintain your position in the race?
That's a 1.
Ooh.
Things have gone poorly.
I think on a GM intrusion... The octopus is causing you a lot of trouble.
Understandably.
I think it's going to rip your helmet off. The effect this is going to have, rather than rolling a d4, is until you replace your headgear to keep warm in some fashion, Every turn you take will cost you 1 HP.
Alrighty.
Feels harsh as a GM intrusion, but you know I'm here to make things easy.
I'm a glutton for punishment. This is all right.
Okay, cool, good. Wonderful. Bonnie, you blaze into second place, chasing Maisie.
You hear hoofbeats in your I guess you see hoofbeats first in your rear view and then with your eyes in front of you.
Glass.
Glass is going to try and pull up to Jack and propose something. As I pull up, I turn to Jack and I say, I might be in a sticky situation, but it seems you've been left out in the cold. I propose an alliance. I can let you in this car. It is warm.
I don't think he can actually respond because he is driving at fast speeds with no helmet in the Antarctic. But I think you get the sense that he is hesitant and might suspect trickery.
Welcome to the Academy. Please take your seats.
Is it a side eye? Is that what happened? Is it a side eye?
A bit of a like wind in the face, octopus like on the back of the head with the helmet, like in extreme danger and mostly just extremely confused.
This is a social encounter, right? So first of all, let's decide motivations here. It seems like Justin is offering an olive branch. If you'd like, Justin, if it's a deception or a persuasion, we can keep that secret by you doing a GM roll to set the difficulty. And you can let me know your intentions also in a GM whisper. And we can defend against that as normal. And chat, you'll be happy to know that you too get to see GM rolls. So we have to ask our players to be honest and not to cheat by looking at stream. I tell you, I did the biggest workout yesterday, and I keep thinking that I might be having a heart attack because my abs hurt so much.
Dude, I hate it when like parts of your body are like, I didn't know I had muscles here. Like, and they hurt so bad, and you're like, why?
Hey, how do I do a GM roll, by the way?
Slash GM roll, it should be.
Okay, one word GM roll, or?
I think so, yeah, slash GM roll.
Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use effort on this.
Sure thing.
I'm going to use a 2 effort.
So this is a social encounter, so it'd be intellect. Do you have an intellect edge?
No, I do not.
Okay. So that'll cost you 5 then. Ooh, okay. And then if you could slash W space GM and let me know what your intentions are. Awesome, Mio. Okay, no, you've done it in Zoom. Got it. So, let's see if Jack, how do you want to react to this? Do you want to try and figure out what the Glass is intending?
I think he's trying to just get a gauge of this very alien entity to him and see what the intent is.
Okay, please make me a difficulty 4 social interaction check.
Good.
I guess I'll let you can decide above behind the scenes whether this would be a pleasant social interaction. Because he's above us for that.
Okay.
But just behind the scenes, let's see. Got that. That's another one. He's having a great day.
Yeah, the dice don't like you, or well, I guess 20 doesn't like you.
So you do see complete confusion, Glass, as Jack is not able to suss out your intentions. and on a 1, I think that charisma boost might be lost.
Fair.
I'm sorry, chat. The donations have been wiped out by successive nat ones.
Does the social count as my action, or can I go ahead and do something else?
I think that literally that amount of confusion would enable you to overtake, or if there's something else that you would do in this scenario, what have you got in mind?
Well, I want to show that my intentions are true, so I'd like to remove the octopus with a stone fist, if possible.
As in you're gonna punch it, or?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think you can do that as part of your persuasion. I want to help you, you want to help me, buff. All good. I'm not going to make you roll a check for that. You've already got your check done. And Jack is no longer able to think. But, actually, can both of you make me a speed check to see if one of you can catch the helmet that the octopus is holding?
But I'm so strong.
Laughing.
Would this potentially, I don't know if this applies, but he is trained in all tasks involving balance and careful movement. Would this fall under that?
Definitely. I think anyone that can... Have you ever watched sidecar racing? When bikes
No.
race on sidecars? Okay, so essentially, you get a bike and a sidecar in old movies and stuff. They just sit in the little car, and that's how everyone does it, right? If you go to sidecar racing, it looks like just a wing where you've got one guy riding on a bike, and the other guy is throwing themselves left and right over the bike to help with cornering. And if that doesn't take balance, I don't know what does. Unfortunately, you rolled a 2.
Yep, it's double what I rolled before, so
So you cannot catch it. But as Glass, as you... can we change this from a punch maybe into a grab? As you grab the helmet and somehow crush maybe you flick the octopus off or something? You tell me, how would it look?
As he looks at me in confusion, not understanding my intentions, I whip my arm out with unnatural speed for a creature made of stone, snatching the helmet of Jack from the octopus, and with a quick flick of the wrist, the octopus goes flying away, harmlessly. I then reach out off the helmet to Jack.
he will happily put it on, and after a second of shivering intensely, he'll just say, thank you, citizen. And
Do you want inside?
I don't want to abandon. It's a very expensive bike. But thank you. My sponsors would kill me.
Oh, this was a mistake. Laughing really hurts. Okay, so with that pleasant social interaction, as it says on the tin, you see a flare launch in the distance, and the flare launches. You can see the quickest route to it would be to just race under the ice cliff straight towards it, right? But a safer-minded person might give a bit of distance between them and the ice cliffs. You have a choice. This choice will not affect your position in the race. We'll keep the positions the same no matter which track you take. But I will note which way you go. In the lead at the moment is Maisie. Before you tell us what your action is, which way would you decide to go? Close to the ice cliffs or distant?
Because of the weight of my monster truck, I'm gonna go the safe route.
Okay. You're currently in the lead. Would you like to put... Jack's gone, like, basically all the way to the back. I think after that Nat 1 interaction, basically at the back. So, would you like to try and put distance between you and Bonnie, who is gunning it, absolutely tearing up the ice?
Is she still blind, or is that over? Or, like, affected by that?
They still have the one step harder for perception, see details, that sort of thing.
Okay.
I think her eyes have been closed this whole time, and she's just muttering, like, it's not your eyes, it's your heart that knows the way. It's not your eyes, it's your heart. And she guns it a little more.
I have an ability that says taking advantage under fights dirty, and it says when your foes weaken, dazed, stun, or move down the damage track. It says your attacks against the foe is decreased by 1 step. So could that be a disadvantage for her instead of an advantage for me?
Yes, it could. If you'd like to attack them, you can have the advantage on the attack. If you don't want to attack them, because we're not encouraging combat, let's change that to, we'll call overtaking a type of attack. Because you're attacking their position in the race, right? We'll just change the wording a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you very
That's what
much, Mad Rogue, who saw exactly where I was going. Thank you for that donation. So yes, you can... essentially, if you want to try and create distance, it will give you an advantage and make it 1 step harder.
That's what I want to do.
Okay.
So I will roll. Ooh.
Okay, difficulty 4, 1 step harder. Difficulty 5, speed check, please, Bonnie, to prevent Maisie from building distance between you.
That's really high.
It's pretty high, 15 or higher. Oh, well, there it is. Straight roll in, Bonnie, eyes closed, gun in it.
It's not your it's not your ass, it's your heart.
Cares not for your advantage and just is able to keep up. Bonnie, which way are you going?
Oh, towards those ice cliffs. There's no doubt.
Of course. Of course.
She might be basic no nonsense, but she's a sturdy woman who has no fear.
And more power to her, honestly. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
Bonnie guns it. I think her eyes are still closed, so the path towards the ice paths, it's like the straighter way. So she doesn't even, I think, necessarily pick it. That's just like, once again, her heart knows the way, and it's right towards those dangerous cliffs. And she just goes. So I have an attack called Control the Field that allows me to move into more advantageous positions.
Uh-huh.
So would I be able to maneuver myself in a way that I don't know if I'm still blinded, but maybe following the pull of my heart as I also see my bike turn to rust within my hands.
Okay, so let's see. So you want to make an attack to control the field, right?
Yes, yeah, because I'm thinking, like, I think if she opens her eyes and looks, she recognizes, like, oh, this is very dangerous where I'm at, and is trying to figure out where's the best path through.
Uh-huh. I think if you make an attack against someone else, then you would need to look at them.
Okay. How long does this blinded condition last?
Good question. It was a major effect. It's been lasting a while. It's going to last a little while longer, yeah.
That's fine. In that case, I think she just keeps gunning it.
Okay, just give me that speed roll straight towards the ice cliffs.
And you know what? She can feel it tugging in her heart. So it's a 0 difficulty. Is that still right?
That's still right, yeah. This will be to try and overtake Maisie again.
And then she'll do 1 effort. Okay.
Okay, so with 1 effort, that makes difficulty 4. Maisie, please make a difficulty 4 speed defense. With the wording of your advantage when they're stunned, was that just when you attack them, or was it also in defending against them as well?
For mine?
Yes.
It says the difficulty of your attacks against that foe is decreased by 1 step. So, however we want.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's just attacks then. So please make a difficulty 4 speed defense roll to maintain your position in first place.
I don't want to lose my position, so I'm going to put 2 effort into it. Oh.
Ooh, even with 2 effort, a 4 only beats difficulty 1. That only beats a difficulty 3 check. That effort paid off for Bonnie, but not for Maisie, as Bonnie's heart leads her into the lead, but very close to the cliffs. I think we're going to go to Glass next. Jack, very sorry. Glass, before you get started, which way would you like to go?
Well, I've learned through all my years that the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line. As the most direct path is by the ice cliff. It would be natural for me to also go by the ice cliffs.
Of course it would be. Are you trying to overtake Maisie too?
Yes, she might believe in the heart of the bike, but I have the power of climate change.
That's a new sentence.
Make me that difficulty 0 speed check. Ooh, so, Maisie, make me a difficulty 2 speed check to try and maintain your lead. Yeah, you keep it, just. You don't gain a position, but you do go close to the ice, which, it's a straighter route, so there's bound to be at some point, right? A point where you can gain some speed. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a shortcut, right? Last but most certainly not least, Jack. What's Jack doing? Which way is Jack going?
Captain Jack never avoids danger. It boosts ratings. So he is going to go towards the ice cliffs.
Of course. And what would you like to do on your turn?
He's going to attempt to, at this point, probably catch up and hopefully overtake. Yeah, he's just going to go for a speed boost.
Okay. Trying to overtake Glass again? I mean, I think you went from first to last in like a space of a round there, thanks to a couple of nat ones. So things change quickly.
Yep. Is that a difficulty 0?
Difficulty 0, yes. Set the difficulty, and Glass will be able to defend against it.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and use effort on that as well.
Okay. With that
Better.
With that raid cry, Potato, we'd really have to be careful who we raid. We might upset some like economists. Is that the word? I don't know. Economy's business. That's not the one. I studied it at school as well. I should know what it's called. Environmentalist. That's the one. So difficulty 4 with the extra -1. That is a difficulty 5. Glass, please make me a difficulty 5 speed defense, unless you can justify anything else roll.
Well, I think speed is probably the most appropriate, even if it isn't my... However, I am trained in running. Would that be for speed defense?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Why not? Where else is it going to come up in this game?
And it was difficulty what again?
Difficulty for 5. 5 all told.
5. Let's see what happens.
Unfortunately, even with your training, you cannot beat Jack's bike, as Jack kicks it into gear, and the Wonder Bike blazes on past you, taking 3rd place back again.
One thing that I don't know how it applies to this in particular, but I do have an ability that is fleet of foot, which means when I move, if I succeed at a difficulty 2 speed roll, I can take an action as well. Could I potentially take an action to somehow assist Glass as to return the favor as I pass by?
Well, let's see. Give me that difficulty 2 speed roll. That is exactly the thing that I was talking about earlier, where you get a action as well as a movement. Give me a speed roll to see if we can beat difficulty 2.
That would be a 1.
I'm not going to GM intrude on you for trying to see if you can do extra actions, but your roll 20 is broken. I don't know if anyone's told you this before, but that's
It's karma. It is karma.
It's usually random. That's the problem. Yours seems to be trying to issue us binary code. It's not working so well. Well then, as Bonnie, Jack, and Glass get close to the ice, and thank you very much, Mad Rogue, for the donation. Yes, your comment is correct. There is a split-second style intervention coming here with the ice wall. The ice begins to fall. Almost as soon as Glass's Hummer gets close to it, you just see cracks go all the way up, and then the whole mass of it sort of shifts down and suddenly starts breaking up and falling forwards. So Bonnie, Jack, and Glass, can you please all give me speed defense rolls to dodge this incoming ice, unless you can think of any other way that you would like to do so.
Can I ask what the difference between a regular speed versus a speed defense roll?
The definition between the two is purely whether you're trained in defense rolls or not. Speed defense rolls.
Perfect. Doesn't change anything for me. Let's do this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oof.
Can I swing at the ice with my great sword to defend using my might?
Sure. You want to just try and pile on through and attack the ice? Sure thing. Might defense.
Difficulty again?
I'm setting this one at difficulty 5. Actually, that's a bit high. Difficulty 4. Yeah, there you go. You would have beat 5 as well. So you can successfully bash your way through the ice, shouldering most of the damage. How about Maisie? No, wait, Maisie's far away. I mean, of course, Jack.
That is a success. Barely.
Barely a success. Barely. So, unfortunately, Bonnie, you are going to take 8 points of damage as ice lands on you heavily. Jack, weaving in and out the ice as it lands, you manage to weave your way around, and also Glass. Unfortunately, the ice is going to slow you down a little bit as well, Bonnie, and pull you back behind Jack and Glass. Thank you very much for the interaction. I'm sure there'll be chances for you to replenish yourself. Tell me, where does that put your might pool, losing 8 points?
So does losing the 8 points, that's just detracted right from my current might pool?
Yeah, it comes off of your current might pool, and when it runs out of might pool, it moves on to speed pool.
I'm at 2.
You're at 2. You're good. You're grand.
Feeling peachy. Like a key lime pie.
Peachy like a key lime pie. You are okay? So you are back in last place now, thanks to the ice, but you are getting on okay. Maisie, there is much less for you to worry about. However, this crashing ice does cause like a small tsunami of a snowdrift to come your way. Could you give me a speed defense roll, difficulty 3?
Yes. Speed defense difficulty 3. I literally forgot how to do it. Okay, there it is. Oh no.
Unfortunately, this snowdrift is going to hit you. It comes across and it only does 4 points of damage as it wipes across your. Perhaps gets into the wheels, the workings of the tracks, and they have to work extra hard. It puts a bit of a strain on the motor or something. So you lose 4 points. You're not going to lose your position though. However, because you've taken the slower route, you will be losing a position. We'll just drop you back behind Jack. So your new order coming out of the ice cliff disaster. Oh, I forgot my big music cue for the ice.
That feel.
Too late to play it now.
We can rewind time a bit.
Yeah, okay, we'll do a quick descriptor, actually. I'll tell you what, why don't you all give me a descriptor of how you get through the ice? There we go, and I'll do the big music hook. Who wants to go first? Jack!
Jack is, he's weaving his speed cycle in between falling mounds, but at a certain point, he also takes from his side, he holsters out, what looks to be, a matching piece to his cycle, a gold-plated blaster gun, and he's just going to fire while winking at no one in particular. Just several rays of this neon red pink lasers at falling bits of ice that might have gotten in his way.
Sure thing. How about Glass?
If you've ever seen that picture of a general from 40K with a sword out riding a tank, it's similar to that. Glass is moving forward in his Hummer, sword swinging at the ice as he drives the most direct path he possibly can.
Yeah. Before we go to Bonnie, how about Maisie with the minor snowdrift?
Well, of course, since it's a monster truck, she has one of those guards in the front that's really big. So she's just blaring through, 2 hands on the wheel, and just the snow making this big blast behind her.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Bonnie, how does this look?
At first, I think she's trusting her heart. She's got one hand on the handlebar, one on her heart, and her eyes. I think her vision starts to come back to her finally, but she doesn't recognize it at first because the snowdrift is starting to pile up, and she thinks that her vision is just blurry. But then she realizes, this is really bad, and she starts muttering, "You ain't gonna get me, you assy sheet." And then she clicks a button on her motorcycle, I think just as it begins to rust over, and the jaws of all 3 of the horses drop down and reveal little cannons that then shoot lightning out in front, and she tries to just lightning horse breath her way through the icy crags as they start coming down on her, but it's too late and they start to pelt her as she just tries to muscle through.
Yeah, unfortunately, the old Pokemon logic, ice beats lightning. So you take the damage.
It's bad.
Thank you very much, Lady Paladin, who's just subscribed. Welcome. Subscribers, because Madrogue, you also subscribed. If you would like to give an advantage to someone, you can. And Lady Paladin, that goes the same to you as well. Let us know in chat who you would like to gain an advantage, which means they can roll twice and take the higher of 2 rolls. And looking at it, I still have an advantage sitting right there that I should give to someone as well at some point, maybe when they're facing some sort of ridiculous ice drift or something. But anyway, this is fine. As we come out the other end and we stop the dramatic music, thank you for indulging me.
We clearly know who needs the advantage. Looking at you, Jack.
I mean, it's fine. What's happened is Roll20 decided they wanted me to flip a coin instead of rolling dice, so it's either going to be a 1 or it's going to be a 20.
Yes. So, as you all come out of this snowdrift, for taking the shortcut, you guys have gained 1 place over there, so Maisie's slightly more behind than they were. So our new running order is Jack again in the space of a round is in front. followed by Bonnie. No wait. Bonnie went to the back. My bad. Maisie. Then Glass and Bonnie. And as you come out, you can see the second flare go off, and you can see it go off. And as you look towards the flare, the sight thing has been worn off. You can now see
Looks like we're
where
going there,
there's.
friend.
Thank you very much for the raid, Dark Aardvark. Welcome in, raiders. You can see there is like is that chimney smoke? It looks like there might be a house over there. That'll be the checkpoint, and it looks like about time too, because although it's ice all the time, you realize you've been racing for quite some time. D White, thank you also for paying your fees there. I see the caps lock Bonnie is not just saying hello to Bonnie. I guess that is also where you would like your advantage to go. So we'll give your advantage to Bonnie. There we go.
Thank you, Lady Paladin.
Yeah, and D White, thank you also for subscribing with Twitch Prime. If you have Twitch Prime, you potentially have a free subscription sitting in your thing. Just click on the little thing over there somewhere, and it'll tell you all about it. Yeah, so we can see the first pit stop. Jack, you're up front.
He's gunning it. He's definitely wants to reach there first. So he's gonna try and increase distance.
Okay, give me that speed roll.
That would be a 6. Could be worse.
Yeah, it's difficulty 2. So Maisie, across the as you come out of the snowdrift, you can see across the tundra that Jack Flash is trying to create distance between you. He somehow got in front by taking that pesky shortcut, and he's firing a laser gun. Can you please beat a difficulty 2 speed roll to try and GM intrusion. In this instance, as you look across to Jack, I think you might miss the flare. So you don't see the checkpoint.
Okay.
Can I attempt a speed roll to attempt a second action?
Yes. Is anyone counting how many nat ones we've rolled this session and how many of them have been rolled by Joe?
A lot.
This is ridiculous. Thank you, D White, who gives the advantage to Bonnie because her Reich is rusty and shit now. It's valid, you know.
Thank you, D White.
Unfortunately, that nat one again. I won't intrude on you. For trying to have a second action, but Roll20 is making its stance on taking second actions loud and clear. You know.
He was gonna attempt to point out where the flare is in case she missed it, but I think in the moment he like forgets where it is for a second himself and then has to readjust.
And the word from chat is we've had 8 nat ones and 4 of them were Joe. There it is. Jack gains the distance. There is now 1 unit of distance between you and Maisie. Maisie, it is your turn. You can see Jack speeding off. They seem to be going away from the cliffs. Perhaps they're going at a slight different orientation to you. How would you like to proceed?
I'll just keep speeding on.
Sure thing.
Uh,
Are you trying to close that distance again? Is that the
well, is he going in a different direction than me?
Ever so slightly. It looks like all 3 of them are going in a slightly different direction.
And I assume they're on a different path, right? So I'm just gonna keep going down my path and try to get in first place.
Okay, so you can't get in first place, but you can try and like get ahead.
Catch up.
Yeah, catch up a bit.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. And I already rolled.
Oh yeah, so you did. Beats difficulty 5. So Jack, make me a difficulty 5 defense roll. By current standards, you should get a nat 20 now, right?
By standards, doesn't appear that way.
Broke the streak. So Maisie closes that distance again. However, as you three are heading towards the checkpoint, you can see Maisie, who's sort of gone off, sort of going over this way. Glass, it's your turn.
As I see my fellow racer clearly going the wrong way, I'm going to use my boulder thrower to take a spare piece of ice and not attack the racer, but simply put some ice in the way of the path they're currently going, as to get their attention to point at the flare in the correct direction.
I'm very excited for this roll.
You've just been gifted an advantage by Dark Aardvark. Dark Aardvark, Natalie, thank you so much. Thank you for the raid and thank you for the biddies. Hopefully you guys are still getting the Pride emote biddies as well, so that would have unlocked some. Yeah, you have an advantage if you wish to spend it. At the moment, you are essentially making a boulder attack throw, if that is an ability. If it's not, it'll be a strength check. At the path just in front of Maisie. Not at Maisie, of course. How difficult should we make this? This isn't really setting a difficulty. Oh, you put effort in as well. That's like difficulty 5, right? That's plenty enough. So, Maisie, as you are driving along, a gigantic boulder lands on the path ahead of you. Glass, since it seems you're being genuine, could you make me an intellect roll also, difficulty 3, to convey your message to Maisie? If you succeed, their difficulty will only be 3. If you fail, their difficulty will be 6. Hey! So, I think on a nat 20, we can make that even easier. Maisie, you only need to beat a difficulty 2 intellect check to understand the meaning of this attack through your shock.
Oh, I think I beat it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Now, Glass, do you have any ideas for how this would look? For me, I think you might have just written this way on a boulder.
Yes. I wrote this on the boulder with a hastily scribbled arrow. If Macy looks, I will also be pointing my great sword at the flare up in the air, clearly displaying the direction she should be going.
Well, I don't want to be the laughing stock going the wrong way, so I will go the right way.
Correct your course a little bit. Cool. So once you join back up, there won't be any distance or anything like that. That does take up your go, though, Glass. Thank you very much. Bonnie, it is your turn. You can see ahead of you Glass not trying to advance in the race, but instead helping out a fellow competitor.
All right. So first, how does advantage work in this system? Is it just roll twice and take the highest?
Yes, indeed. We do it just
Love
like D&D. It's easier.
The best thing to ever be added to tabletop. I think Bonnie has a moment where she realizes she is in last place, and she begins to think, you know what the problem was? I was opening my eyes. Gotta keep my eyes closed. All right. And then she like begins to like start closing her eyes again. And she goes, all right, that's right. It's a straightaway. Just trust in your heart and trust in the 3 horses you ride upon. And so she'll go and she'll rev it again. And she's basically just trying to like keep up, or rather, she's trying to close the distance because she realizes how far behind she is after having a glacier fall on her, basically. So I guess a speed check with an effort at advantage.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect.
So roll it with effort twice, but only charge yourself the effort cost once.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so not a strong start. Hey! Glass, I'm afraid you need to defend against a difficulty 6. Do you have a suggested major effect, Bonnie?
I think that we saw the jaws of her horses open and lightning shoot out of them. So I think as she's streaking forward, the lightning is still like propelling out of her horse's mouth. So maybe it's distracting or brilliant or just very strange to behold.
Potentially damaging?
Hopefully not damaging. I think she's on the straightaway and they're both dealing with being a little off the path. Actually, I don't think she wants to injure her fellow competitors, but I think this is just like I think she's screaming about her heart and she's revving the engine and there's lightning shooting out.
Okay, so we'll use the major effect for this turn, distracted. Glass and Bonnie know after the ice you no longer have that one step harder on blindedness. But Glass, helping as you are, you can't help but see these lightning things to the side, and they're awfully distracting. So just for this round, any actions you take will be one step harder, or the next round, rather, before we get back. Can you please make me a difficulty 6 speed defense roll to try and maintain your position, Glass?
And I will use my advantage.
Sure thing. There it is, straight up. Give us a second one as well, though, just in case. You never know, you might get a nat 20. And Tater, Natalie gifted it to Glass, so there it is there. I called it! Come on! So, nat 20s versus nat 20s. I'll give you the choice, Glass. You can either ignore the distraction or have your own major effect.
I'd like to have my own major effect.
Sure thing. What is your major effect suggestion?
You break a weapon, shield, or piece of equipment that the target is using.
Oh no. Oh no. So I guess the most relevant thing is the horse's mouth. So how might this break, Bonnie?
I think that the rust has been slowly overtaking, and cinematically, the rust is slowly coming up over the maws. And I don't know, does Glass throw a rock or a projectile or something at the iron or the rusty stampede at this point?
I think that the increased humidity from the melting ice around the Hummer simply accelerated the rusting process.
Yeah. And I think like right at the bolts that kind of hold that whole business together, they just kind of like and then just like drop to the ground. And Bonnie has to like swerve real quick to not like get busted by her own bike falling apart.
This is all how very distracting for all of you, and everyone except for Maisie. No, even Maisie. Everyone, could you make me a spot details check or navigation check if you have navigation, perception, anything like that?
So if we don't have any of those, what would it be? Just intelligence?
Yeah, it'd be just straight intelligence. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so Glass, Captain Jack, Flash, and Bonnie, don't you guys worry about a thing. There's nothing up at all. Maisie, your competitors are heading towards a ice cliff. They think they're heading towards the village, but from your perspective, you can see there's actually a great big drop ahead of them. And a blizzard is starting to settle in for the night. You have choices. A cold person, teehee, might just go on to the village and have a lovely warm cocoa and hide away for the night.
I don't think I'll be cold because Glass was so nice to me. Can I try to use like a snow chain or something to lasso them? I don't know. It's cartoon, right?
Totally. We can say in the back of your truck you just have spare chains. So we can go D&D on this and say you've got some ridiculous length of chain in the back of your car. And with a might check, you can at least distract them.
Okay. Go.
The might check, it'll be, I think, difficulty. We'll make it difficulty 4.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put some effort in there.
And you do it. You successfully do it. This chain goes flying across. With that extra effort, make me an intellect check, only difficulty 3. So, rather than the chain landing directly ahead of you, it definitely gets the distance. But Jack, could you please make me a speed defense roll, as this chain is heading right for you?
Alrighty. And he's also going to use effort on this one. That could be worse.
Could be worse, but unfortunately, hang on, specialized effort, that takes it up to 5. That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. You managed to dodge the chain, but with a nat 1 GM intrusion, please make me a difficulty 7 intellect test to try and understand what Maisie was telling you. As anything, if you fail, you're going to think, obviously, that she's trying to attack you, because...
Let's see. It was a natural 20, but that's still a failure because it's difficulty 7 and he doesn't have anything from that.
And you don't want to put any. You didn't want to put any effort in or anything. That is totally fine.
Well, I can't play effort after the fact, can I?
No, you can't.
No.
No, I was just checking in case it wasn't a mistake. So it is a nat 20. So you're not sure. Okay, you're like, this is weird. We're only like literally 1 point off of understanding is my thing. So you don't get what she's trying to say, but are they actually trying to attack you? What's their motive here?
Mm-hmm. He's just gonna like. It's a facial expression most akin to the dramatic prairie dog from internet days of yore, just like a shock.
Okay, well, as we all tear forward, we are heading towards an ice cliff. Let's have one last intellect defense roll to see if you can spot the cliff before you go careening off it. The difficulty will be difficulty 3 at this point.
Nope.
Not just Jack, this is Glass and Bonnie as well.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm gonna do this.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3.
She's gonna put 1 effort into this.
Good thing you did, because that is just enough for you to realize that there is a cliff approaching. So Glass and Bonnie, you see Jack, who is in the lead, literally within feet of driving off this cliff. Like, within feet meaning shouting ain't going to be enough. You're going to need to intervene somehow. How would the two of you like to do this?
I think Bonnie's... Go for it.
I'm going to quickly scribble on another boulder. Stop. And fire of my friend, Captain Jack.
Okay, there's not a lot of rooms. This is going to be harder than you might expect. We'll make this difficulty 5.
Understandable. I will apply some effort in this case.
That is a success. Jack, there's no chance of you stopping, but a great big boulder lands in front of you saying stop. Does Bonnie like to do anything as well?
So I think hopefully this works. I think maybe Bonnie's control the field attack might finally come in handy.
Yes.
So she finally sees and clicks, like it clicks into her mind what is happening, and she sees this boulder like hurling over and land in front of Jack, and what she hopes upon hopes and she of course closes her eyes as she does this, if she can drive straight at Jack and then kind of slide into a bit of a drift so that she catches him sideways, and then kind of like grab at the scruff of his collar or suit or racing jacket and then pull him onto her bike so that they can zip away, is what she's hoping. So she's hoping with control the field she can kind of pull off this ridiculous maneuver.
Yeah, sure. Let's make it suitably difficult for such an epic action. Also difficulty 5.
Okay. And would this be speed?
I have a feeling this might be might.
It might be might. Ooh, okay. Let's see what she's got. So difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5, yeah.
So if I use edge, I'll drop to 0. Dropping to 0 the first time is fine, right?
Yeah, it just makes everything one step harder.
Let's do it. So she'll use some effort.
And you do it. You do it. And it's a good thing you did use the effort. You clip the back of Jack's bike. Jack's bike goes careening into this boulder. And you manage to successfully grab Jack and pull him onto your bike. It looks as epic as we're all imagining, but the bike's not looking in a good way, Jack.
And so if this is possible, I think what Bonnie does is, like, as she like pulls him and grabs him onto her bike, like we see that she is winded in this moment and is exhausted, and she actually pulls Jack in front of her so that he can drive.
Sure. And as your bike hits the boulder, maybe Jack's a little confused at the moment why everyone's attacking him, until you see the boulder disappear. And suddenly the crevice becomes very clear.
Whoa! That! Oh god! Oh god! And he's going to attempt to take the reins as he has been put in front.
And they are reins.
Yeah.
How is your bike looking after the rust?
I think it's bad. I think it's getting worse and worse with every bit of track we cover.
Yeah, so our pools are generally representing our vehicle health during this. So with the might pool gone completely, it's not looking very sturdy, shall we say. Jack's bike is actually still there. I think I'm going to say that it wipes out its might track as well. So if Jack wants to stop the bike and get back on his own bike, he can. I know he's got sponsors to think about, and possibly things in there that, you know, might need attention. But you are going to lose place. In fact, all three of you will, I think. And I think Maisie, taking the safe pass, is the only one with a clear route to town. Maisie, you can see from below that they have stopped. You see a boulder thrown by Glass hit the edge and fall down. And, you know, they all seem okay. So you've got a safe passage to Village. They just need to figure out their way down. And this blizzard is coming in pretty strong now. Visibility is going to be reduced. I think all perception actions for everyone is going to be reduced by 1.
Do
For
you?
them to even get in town?
Sorry?
For them to even get in town?
They can see where town is. They've got a good idea, but like, if they stay out much longer, it might get worse. There might be some damage that comes with it later on. But for now, you can just see that the storm's blinding everyone.
Do you trust me?
Me?
The others that are around me?
Oh,
So Maisie would be a way away from Glass at the minute. Maisie basically is faced with the choice of get to the village first or wait to see if they come down. And they don't seem to be in any immediate danger right now.
can I turn around and go put their trucks or their bikes in the back of the truck? If they want me to?
You could go and join them. You could certainly go and join them. It's just the choice of giving up your first place.
I mean, they're okay, right? I'll stay where I'm at just to make sure they get going. And then if they get going, I'll continue down.
Okay, so for this round, you're going to wait and see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave the initiative open at the minute to the three of you. The three of you together, you can decide what you do as you do it. At the moment, Jack is still on Bonnie's bike.
Do you trust me?
At this point, sure. I guess, yes.
Is your heart pure and your intentions good?
Yes.
Then yes.
So I have enough room in my car for both of your bikes. My car is also quite resilient. It looks like that boulder made a interesting path. We could ride down together to avoid that, and pointing at the blizzard. It doesn't seem like either of your bikes are in particularly good repair at the moment.
You're not wrong about that, but are you suggesting we go off the cliff?
Yes.
Does it seem like the cliff is safer after the boulder got pushed off? Or
Give me an intellect roll, difficulty 3.
it's gonna go ahead and put effort into that.
That makes it. Yeah, it beats difficulty 4. You can see that it's going to be a difficult descent. If you were to go down in a Hummer and just try and rough it down, it would be a difficulty 4 might check. Is what you interpret in Arctic terms, which is, you have to take point there, aim for that ridge, and all that business.
I think we could make it together. I think it might be the best way to avoid the blizzard after all.
Just like my granny said, if you burn a biscuit, you gotta start from scratch and just scrap the old batch. So give me in the back of that Hummer, or whatever you call your rock vehicle.
Hummer works. I pop the back of the Hummer, leaving plenty of room for both bikes and more passengers than we have.
And it's like a H3, right? So it's got room for everything and its dog and a kitchen sink, and you could put a stove back there as well, right?
At least.
Yeah, bare minimum. Okay, so you can all bandy together into the Hummer and collect up the bikes. That'll be your action for this round. Down below, Maisie, it's difficult to see what they're doing. It looks like they're putting the bikes in the Hummer. The blizzard's going to start dealing cold damage. You're going to take 2 points of damage to your might.
Okay. I will continue on too. I'll just go.
Just go. Fantastic. Up top there, you're also going to take 2 points of damage. If your might pools are empty, it'll come off your speed.
If I have armor, does that negate this?
Ooh, I don't think armor works against cold damage, does it?
I don't know.
I don't think I'm going to rule against this then on this occasion. Just 'cause
Understandable.
Blizzard bad. So I guess then this turn we'd like to try and make our way down in the Hummer.
Yes.
Yeah. Could I potentially also? I have an ability that lets me, when I make a recovery roll as my action, I can have an extra action as well. So can I do the recovery action and also help go down?
Sure thing.
I believe that's a D6, correct?
It is a D6 plus 1.
That's 2.
Fantastic. If Bonnie, if you would also like to make a recovery action, you can do the same thing. It means you won't be able to help out though. Helping out as you are, we'll say that you are being used as an asset, Jack, and that will reduce the difficulty by 1 down to difficulty 3. So it's not the end of the world if Bonnie doesn't help out, right?
I think Bonnie is winded, but wants to help. She has the ability balance. So I think she wants to try and, as they're coming down the side of the cliff, maybe shifting her weight to keep the Hummer more stable. So it maybe doesn't spin out of control.
Sure thing. Okay, so you're going to be doing exactly what I was describing earlier with the sidecar racing. Sure thing.
Yep.
Would the four-wheel drive and all-terrain wheel have on my sheet count as assets for climbing down this mountain?
Yes, indeed, I think it would. So, with all of these things that we all have, I think that's going to reduce the difficulty all the way down to 1.
And would we count this as a climbing check?
If you're trained as well, you can just do this. You can just do it. Yeah, that reduces it to difficulty 0, which means it's an auto success. You can roll a nat 20 if you like, just so I can give you a GM intrusion. But you can just do this. It's a nat 20. So your major effect, I guess, is you're essentially driving the spider car for you Marvel fans out there. And any climbing checks will be 2 steps easier rather than 1 step easier for you.
I approve.
And you can get down the bottom of the hill. Now, Maisie, you do have the lead. They're coming down the hill. Suddenly, it seems the race is back on. Give us a speed check to well, rather, what would you like to do? Would you like to try and create some distance as you are still ahead of the Hummer?
Yeah, since I know that they're making it down, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get ahead. Well, there we go.
Sure thing. So, difficulty 5 speed roll. If you want to try and overtake Maisie, then give us a speed roll. I'm not going to allow help on this.
Okay.
I can just see that unbalancing it very quickly. Yeah, no, so you can see Maisie gets to the village with at least 1 unit of distance between you and the rest of you. And the rest of you can arrive, and there waiting is Guinevere, and she's waiting with blankets and cocoa, and she's like, "Oh, come on, now get in out of the storm. You're gonna catch yourselves a death cold." You can see there's 4 chairs set up in this hostel. They have hot water bowls for putting feet in, and all of the nice comforts.
Well, that was certainly an adventure.
Glass, it looked like you were gonna try to steer me wrong.
I don't understand. I showed you the correct way to go.
Over the cliff?
I simply pointed at the flare.
Oh.
There was also the matter of a particular piece of chain that found its way in front of me. I'm sure by no ill intent. I'm sure.
I was trying to warn you.
That's not ominous. But I should thank you, Bless. You got us out of a rather tight spot. If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Will do.
Well,
I would
now-
like to see you try to give him a shoulder massage on his boulders.
Boulder massage.
You know, I do have a chip in my shoulder that could use some smoothing out if your stylist might help.
I'm not sure she's trained with chisels. That might be Johan's area of expertise. I'll see what Johan can do when he gets here.
Tiffany's just like looking at her nail file, like.
she might need a chisel, but honestly, Glass, I've never met a problem. A cup of cocoa and, just a few stories around a fire. I've never been able to get at.
I imagine it would be like drinking lava for me.
Can't say I've ever had lava, but to each their own.
I wouldn't recommend it. Unless you are also stoned. In that case, it is quite delectable.
Now there, Mr. Glass. Her voice is, she's from everywhere. Now there. Now then, Mr. Glass, I heard what you said this morning about having rocks, and I went and I found some of the old research stations on the way through here, and they had a bunch of fossils, and in them fossils there's an awful lot of rock.
That would be quite delectable.
And you guys can essentially have a nice evening of bonding before continuing racing the next morning. Is there anything that any of you would like to do here in the hostel for the night?
Has the entourage caught up in like a backup vehicle?
Oh yeah, they would have went with Guinevere, I think, actually. Yeah.
He's just gonna do his nightly routine of sitting by the fire as they take care of all the business. But he's going to specifically instruct his engineer, Johan, to make sure that he tends to bolt his bike and to Bonnie's bike as best he can to attempt and make them race ready again.
So, Johan will inform you, I can't do it, Captain. It's against race regulations. We're only allowed to work on it for 1 hour in the morning.
Oh, rules. I hate them. But alas, we'll make the best of it.
Aye. If you can describe the problems, perhaps I can go in with an open eye.
Well, I hit a rock. And I believe Bonnie spontaneously turned to rust. So whatever you can do about that would be lovely.
You hit a rock?
Well, it was either that or go off a cliff. I'm sure you'd see this as a better alternative.
You freaking heed? Why'd you do that?
Well, hindsight is 20/20. It's you can deal with it. You've dealt with words. It's fine.
All right, I'll have a look at it in the morning.
I appreciate you, Johan.
And we see Bonnie doing a similar thing with her folks over in the garage attached to this little cabin, and they're kind of looking at the bikes, strategizing. You know, how do we knock as much of this rust off? How much isn't structural versus what's got to go? And they start making plans for the morning.
And much like I think Formula One pits, they're sort of looking at the rules and sort of going, well, replacing isn't, illegal on this part, and why fix when you can just replace the whole steering column, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Glass will approach both Bonnie and Captain Jack Flash with a gift. When you rode in my Hummer, we became friends. As such, I have gifts for you. And there's a little box for each of you.
All right.
That's most kind.
As they open the box, they'll see glasses matching glasses.
Well, do these do they do something special, or do they just look mighty fine?
They look cool.
I do agree with that.
I appreciate it. I forgot to pack my sunglasses for the Antarctic, so I appreciate the gesture.
Well, now you have something that when you go off on your own way, you'll always have something to remember this race by.
You are a gentle rock.
I appreciate your kind words.
Indeed. Thank you, Glass. Now my eyes will have rims as cool as my back.
Yes, very cool. I like how your bike resembles the mighty mare.
Well, if we are to settle down for the evening, I propose a toast. He holds up a probably thing of scotch to Maisie's victory on the first day. Well raced. May fortune continue in your favor.
Cheers.
You're here to that.
Cheers.
And we'll do an 80s freeze frame as we pan across to the next morning. Not quite a smash cut. The freeze frame fade to like stencil style drawing, and then into the next scene as we are preparing for the race of the next day. Each of you can make me 2 recovery rolls to represent the hour spent working on your bikes. So all of you can do this, even if you have nearly full pools, you can also do this. And these points you can just put directly in your pools. That's some pretty good roll in there.
So is it
26 plus 1, correct?
Yes, indeed. Oh, top tip, if you ever need to do the same dice roll twice, just press up.
Oh,
Perfect.
So, putting points back in, does it have to go back in the same order? Does it have to go speed, then might?
You
Or
can distribute your points wherever you like as you tactically decide with Johan which parts of the bike to repair.
And can we split it? So I rolled a 7, so can I put 3 and 4?
Yes, you can.
Perfect. Alright. I'm gonna go take a quick bio break.
By all means. lots of strategizing going on your faces. If we were playing poker right now, we could be, you know. Especially with Justin. Justin's that guy at the poker table that's turned up in sunglasses. There's always one, you know.
Yep. The one person that actually knows how to play at the table.
Yeah.
I'd make you think that, wouldn't I?
I know, my brother always called it cheating if I tried to wear sunglasses.
Did you all...
Sorry.
Oh, God. I was just, did you all rest well? A fine evening of recovery, even in the blizzard.
I slept good. How about you?
Well, I'm used to like a 16-inch pillow top mattress, but the cots were fun.
Well, rested. I don't sleep, but I am rested.
Okay, dear. So I'll be starting the race off today. It's a short strip today. You should get there by midday. Essentially, you just need to go. There's the ice lake, a big lake in the middle of the thing here. How there's a lake, I don't know, but the water just. We think there's like oil under there or something. It never quite freezes, so that can be some treacherous ice. If you want to go the safe route, you want to go round. If you're feeling a little bit risky, I saw what happened with the cliffs, you know. If you're feeling a bit risky, you can try and go straight across. But you know, there's only a slight advantage from doing so. So you have to make your choice. Now, Maisie, you get a head start with some distance. Then Glass gets to go, and because the two of you didn't finish, you're going to start in joint last place. Okay, Bonnie and Jack, that's just the way it is, I'm afraid. I don't make the rules, I just read them. So, Maisie, I'll let you go first.
So I'm just gonna make a speed roll?
You just head off, and there's automatically 1 unit of distance between you and them. Okay, now Glass, she's like sitting there with a stopwatch. You go now.
See you, friends. And then I drive off.
Okay, now there's a 20-second penalty, so we'll be going in just a moment now. And again, it'll be an initiative roll between the two of you on a 3, 2, 1. Oh boy.
There's that other side of the coin.
Yeah, unfortunately, initiative rolls don't get major effects.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you know, c'est la vie. Remember, you do have an advantage going forward as well. I think you didn't use 2, did you, Sarah?
Not yet. I'll hold on to it.
You hold on to it, yeah, very wise. So our initiative order this round then is Maisie, 1 unit of distance, Glass, then Jack, and lastly Bonnie. As you have ahead of you this ice lake to race across. Maisie, you currently have 1 unit of distance ahead of you. What do you do? And which way do you go?
Can I tell if the ice looks thin or not, or no?
It's going to be difficult to tell. Give me a perception check. Difficulty 5. It's going to be difficult.
I'm gonna put 2 effort into it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Still a failure, only just. Seems safe enough.
I'm gonna go across, I guess. I'm gonna speed across.
Okay. Would you like to try and create distance? Or if you like, you could, I suppose, since you're going across ice, you could just try and maintain your spot, but put your effort into not breaking the ice, I guess. Navigating carefully. It's up to you. Distance or grace?
I'm gonna live on the wild side and go distance.
By all means.
There we go. Oh.
Glass, as you can see, Maisie already has a head start. You can see them go straight onto the ice, nary a care in the world. and they're trying to create distance. I need a difficulty 6 defense roll to try and keep up.
I see. So, difficulty 6. I suppose this calls for some effort.
Just can't quite make it. As the final difficulty is difficulty 4. The final is trained and 1 effort. 11 beats difficulty 3, so that should actually be 5. It's still a failure. So unfortunately, you can't quite keep up, as there are now 2 units of distance between Maisie and Glass. Now, important question, Glass. Do you go on the lake or do you go around? And if you go on the lake, do you follow the same path as Maisie or do you choose a different path?
I go under the ice.
You're just going to try and smash your way through?
Yes, my car is stone, should sink quickly. I do not need to breathe. And my car generates enough heat that I shouldn't freeze.
Oh yeah, we said early on that your car will melt the ice around you. That was the very first GM intrusion. So yeah, as soon as Glass gets on the ice, you see it begin to ice up. You see the ice begin to melt, and they just disappear below the surface. Suddenly, cracks spread out across all the ice, Maisie, and you can see cracks appearing all around you. Not relevant right now. I'm sure this will be fine. What would you like to do on your turn, Glass? Would you like to try and make up some distance?
Yes, I would like to make up some distance using my swim skill.
Yeah, valid. Okay, so let's see. We've got. Did you put 2 levels of effort in there, or is that a mishap?
I put 2 levels of effort intentionally.
Effort intentionally. So you're trained. You've got 2 levels of effort. That makes the final difficulty 6. Maisie to maintain.
This is a unique terrain. Would my wheels count as an asset?
I don't think so, because you're using the swim skill. If you weren't using the swim skill, then I'd give it to you. So Maisie, as ice breaks up everywhere, you can see well, you can't see, but make me the defense roll anyway to see if you can maintain this distance. As I guess, perhaps, as we've learnt from Bonnie, your heart is telling you that Glass is catching up.
And it's 6?
It's difficulty 6, I'm afraid.
All right, I'm putting 3 effort in.
Ooh.
Oh,
Catch you
no.
later, Mad Rogue and Lady Paladin. You guys sleep well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've only got about half an hour left. You'll be able to catch it on the VOD. There it is. So as the GM intrusion comes in, I mean, you know what happens, right?
I'm gonna fall.
The ice breaks and down you go. Down you go beneath into the oil. Now, do you need to breathe water, Maisie?
Air.
Air.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll up my windows. Make sure they're rolled up tight.
Make me a speed defense roll.
0.
Are they electric or hand wound?
I feel like they're hand wound.
Okay, difficulty 3 then. That works. You get, just as the oil's rising, you can just about get them up, and the windows are sealed tight as you go underneath the oil. So Jack and Bonnie from behind, as you guys head down to start taking after Glass, you see Glass disappear into the lake, cracks go all around it, and then Maisie follows. Jack, you're up first.
Does he realize that Glass's entry at least was intentional and that they might be okay?
What difficulty do you feel this would be? From your interactions with, he was eating rocks, talking about drinking lava.
And he's seen them melting the eye. Yeah. So probably like a difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3 intellect roll then.
Hey. So that would be
Yeah. So you can see that Glass did it intentionally.
All right, then in that case, assuming that's just their plan, he's going to take the long way around, remembering his luck with more risky removers yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah,
and
you can take the easy way around. Are you trying to create distance between you and Bonnie? Or are you trying to get ahead of Glass, I guess?
He's trying to get ahead of Glass.
Okay. Difficulty 5 defense roll, please, Justin.
All right then.
The swimming defense with 1 effort isn't quite going to do it, I'm afraid. And it would seem that despite your slight head start, Jack is able to tear around on the ice or on the ice bank, rather, and stay away. It's quite clear now what is lake and what is not lake as the cracks break everything up, and you can see this black oil pooling through. And it sort of does that thing where it freezes over again, you know?
And then I'm going to attempt a speed roll again, and hopefully not get a 1 a third time to get a second action in.
Sure thing. Difficulty 2, you get a second action.
Just barely. So he's going to try and just speed ahead again to see if he can nab first.
I think that'd be a second movement. I was thinking you had a movement and then an action, so like
an
ability or something you had in mind.
Yeah, I was confusing like the economy in that. In that case, his action is he's going to, let's see. He's just going to, for the hell of it, use his ability that is flashy. That just lets him. He's trained in all arts involved in physical performing arts, and he's just gonna do he's just gonna get up and just stand on his bike as he does this for flair.
Do you have a cape?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Bonnie, you can see this happening ahead of you. Captain Jack Flash is being extra flashy, standing on his bicycle, cape flaring in the wind. You can see what's going on with the lake. Would you also like to make an intellect check to see if Glass and Maisie are okay, or is that something that Bonnie wouldn't be too worried about?
I think she's going to go ahead and make that check, especially after the perils of yesterday, and she'll spend some edge on this.
And what difficulty do you think this would be for Bonnie?
She's kind of far away, so I think that she's pretty doggone perceptive of folks, but she's at a distance, so maybe 2 or 3, probably 3.
Let's go for the 3. Why not? Hey!
All right.
On that nat 20, yes, you can see that Glass intended to go in the lake. You can also see Maisie really did not intend to go in the lake.
So on that, Bonnie kind of squints her eyes at the distance, and because of this, maybe she likes to think that this accounts for her kind of bad start, because she's trying to mull over, like, what do I do? And she decides that she's going to take, like, the absolute extreme middle path between the safe route and being on the ice, because she's worried about that, but she wants to see if she can be close enough to maybe help out Maisie if there's an opportunity. She also knows that she breathes air and not water. So she's looking for an opportunity but isn't sure what it is. And I think because of that, she just wants to speed ahead and will spend some effort on it.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Okay, so speeding ahead, that would be difficulty 4 to try and get ahead of Jack, or rather get ahead of Glass, because Jack's ahead of Glass. So to get ahead of Glass, that would be a defense roll, difficulty 4, please, Glass.
Looks like we got a new friend.
Hey, good night, Lady Paladin. Welcome, Ascension Stories and Raiders. Oh, hi, everyone. Glad you can join us. We're just coming to the final stretch of our icy one shot as we are racing on the ice. 2 ice bikers, 1 stone hummer, and 1 Minotaur monster truck. It's fantastic. That is a success with the effort and training. So you cannot get ahead of Glass, but you can tail behind Jack. As we get to this next round, Maisie, what's happening? And Maisie, may I offer you a GM intrusion? This will give you 1 XP and give you 1 XP to give to someone else, which you can use to reroll.
Yes, I'll take it.
Okay, who would you like to gift your extra XP to?
Bonnie, since she might help me.
For the opportunity.
Sure thing. So, the GM intrusion is this. Last night, Johan had a look at your machine as well as the others. Noticed that some of the seals were busted and repaired them, and left an oxygen tank on the back seat.
Oh, perfect. I don't want to abandon my truck, but I think I'm gonna have to. It won't drive through this, will it?
Why don't you give me an intellect check? Difficulty 3.
Okay. Difficulty 3.
You can see that no oil is leaking through. It seems even your air intake has been shut off and closed up. It seems Johan just was being extra generous this morning. The only problem this will present you is that you don't have any air to breathe. But your car can still drive. And you have an oxygen tank in the back.
Perfect. I'm gonna try to just keep on going then.
By all means. I've missed something from last round. My notes aren't... I'm not the best note taker. Did Glass close 1 unit of distance? Is there 1 unit of distance or 2 units of distance between the 2 of you now?
I think I closed 1? Question mark?
Kylie, do you remember?
I don't remember.
Because I know Kylie started with 1 unit of distance and then she created another one. I just can't remember whether Glass made it back or not.
Rolling up.
Did we roll for it?
Yeah,
Look like
we should have done.
It would have been that first swimming check, I think.
So I see this swimming defense against. Okay, here we go. Yeah, swimming 6, and then she got the GM intrusion and fell into the.
Yes, so that would mean there's only 1 unit of distance between you now. That was where the second GM intrusion came in. Thank you. That's why we got distracted. So then there's only 1 unit of distance between you and Glass. Would you like to try and increase that back up to 2?
Yes. I would. Speed. There we go.
So difficulty 3. Glass, please make a difficulty 3 defense roll to stop Maisie from speeding away again. On this GM intrusion...
I have a suggestion.
What's your suggestion?
I'm in a car that generates an insane amount of heat in a lake of oil.
Uh-huh.
Take that as you will.
Oh boy, yeah, and the oil would be to be liquid in this sort of temperature, it'd have to be thinner than most oils. So yes, the lake catches fire.
This is bad.
It starts slowly burning on the top. It's not going to go up like an explosion. Don't panic. Someone would have to donate for that to happen. It's just going to start slowly burning. And you do indeed grab that extra unit of distance there, Maisie. You're back up to 2 units of distance. So, after Maisie, it is Glass's turn. King Wispy to cheers count.
I'm going to try and catch up quickly, as there might be a fire that has been lit under my butt.
Yeah, it seems hotter than usual.
It reminds me of Pompeii.
Yeah, and difficulty 5 with training and effort, that knocks that up to difficulty 7. Maisie, you're going to need to put effort in to maintain your distance.
Here we go.
Wow, 4 effort, just hammering away at that speed pool. You maintain your 2 units of distance. Justin, I'm sorry.
How's that speed pool looking?
2.
And you can see you're on the upward incline. You'll be exiting the pool next round. Next, we have Jack standing on his motorcycle, cape flying.
He's just going to try and take the lead. I don't remember where he is in position, but he's going to try and surpass whoever's in front.
Yes, you can try and get one of them units of distance out of Maisie.
Yep. And he's going to go ahead and use 2 edge on this one.
2 effort, which would help you with
2
the
edge, yep.
Yeah, the edge helps you work out the cost. And there we go. So difficulty 4 minus 2 steps. That's difficulty 6. Maisie, can you make me a defense roll again? Because I also forgot about Jack overtaking Glass. Just play it cool, guys. It's how I intended it to be the whole time, honest. How much effort have you got left, Maisie? Can you afford to do more effort? Who needs it? Who needs it? Major effect, I think the oil is going to give your car a performance enhancement, making it speed checks 1 step easier for 2 rounds. Next, I'm afraid, Jack, they're speeding away. You're still just ahead of Glass. Whoops, sorry, Glass. We'll sort that out next round. And Bonnie, it's your turn.
So Bonnie's still watching the surface of the glass, the surface of the ice, trying to suss out what's happening, and the fire is like deeply concerning to her. And she realizes she's really going to have to step up her speed to be in a position to be helpful to anyone. So I'll cash in one of my advantages to try and roll at advantage with some effort on speed.
Sure thing.
Let's see, effort. That's the first one. Okay, pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
See what the second one shakes out.
Not so good. So
okay, sticking with the first one.
difficulty 6, speed defense, then please, Jack.
Alrighty. Speed defense. That's 6. And we'll use one more effort. Doesn't matter on that.
You were standing on your motorcycle, right?
I was indeed.
I'm not going to say that you crash, but perhaps doing these sort of stunts on ice isn't the best plan. And the bike starts to slide, and I think you're going to have to, like, drop and try and maintain control again, which causes you to lose the place. My GM intrusion will be that you that you're not allowed to roll nat ones anymore. I don't know. Is that 11? 11 nat ones? We've definitely taken the record for the most nat ones rolled in one session. We'll say that you are put into a skid, and actually it's going to give you an advantage because not all GM intrusions have to be bad, fortunately. Whenever you're cornering in drift mode, you get +1 speed. So if you did play Split Second, you've got that car that's really annoying that drifts to get faster and stuff. That's a little in-joke for those of you out there who play Split Second. Mad Rogue will appreciate it on the VOD. So we're going to come back around, and as we exit the lake, Maisie pops out first. 2 units of distance later, glass erupts from the flaming pool. At the same time, Bonnie is going to appear neck and neck with you. It would have been Jack, but Jack, I'm sorry. It'll be Jack in last place. So as you two appear, how about we have Bonnie and Glass roll me an initiative check just to see who gets the initiative. It's kind of a cheap way of doing it, but it resolves.
Would I be climbing instead as I'm climbing out of the lake?
You can climb. We'll give you because it's supposed to be an initiative roll. We'll only give you 1, not the 2. If you were swimming, I wouldn't have given you any. It's still a very good initiative roll. So 5, 5. You both rolled 5. Re-roll, please. Oh! I'm sorry, Glass. You tried so hard, but it didn't even matter. Is anyone also keeping account of the amount of nat 20s that we've had? Because we've had a lot.
I know.
We've had so many.
I think we are a coin.
You guys are typing in 20, right? Not 1d2, right? Yeah, we got that. Okay. So Bonnie appears just ahead of Glass, and then last is Jack, but no distance between all of you. You're in a group. You can see there's not a lot of race left. In fact, this might be one of the last rounds before we get into the village. You can see the village ahead. People are sitting there. There's a tape across the thing. Maisie, you're clearly very much in the lead, and it is your turn.
Instead of trying to get any further ahead, can I use like setup so like, I don't know, I have some sort of advantage against defense rolls or something if somebody tried to do something to me?
You bet. Yeah.
That's what I want to do. So I just want to maintain.
Yeah, we'll call it defensive driving, okay? So rather than... That'll be your action. Rather than making a progression roll, you can drive defensively to get an asset on your defense roll.
Cool.
Next then is Bonnie, with 2 distances ahead. You can see Maisie.
So first she is spurred on by the idea that someone is in trouble, but now seeing Maisie erupt from the burning lake, Bonnie realizes everyone's fine, the race is on, let's go. And I think I have another advantage stockpiled, the one that actually Maisie gave me.
That's an XP, so you can use that as a re-roll. It's not the same. You have to take the second roll.
Ooh. Can I see the first roll before taking the second?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so let's see what happens. So Bonnie is going to go back to her old antics. She sees the village, and then she's going to close her eyes and rev the engine.
Okay.
and we'll spend she'll spend some edge on this.
Yep. Okay.
Or spend some effort.
Effort. Yes. There we go. Thank you.
Ooh, I'm gonna keep that.
Okay, so that is a difficulty 6 roll. Maisie, you also have an XP, so you also have a re-roll. And you also have one level of effort, so what we'll do is we'll just reduce the difficulty by 1, so we'll just make it difficulty 5, and then you can spend your effort as normal. We've already taken into account your defensive driving. Success!
Nice.
Unfortunately, you can't do it. Maisie's just too far ahead. Just too far ahead. Next in the running, we have Glass. And Glass, Bonnie is not too far ahead. Bonnie's right there.
Well, she's a friend, but we are racing. It's time that I speed ahead. Am I still climbing at this point?
No, you are
Or...
definitely on the ice now. On the ice, seeing the village ahead of you. I've got a wizard sleeve going on. You can see the ice going on ahead of you, and that was really cool. I felt like I was casting a fireball when I said ahead. Plain tundra, the lake was the last encounter, it would seem.
No. In that case...
Oh! So that is a difficulty 8 attempt to pass you, Bonnie. You're going to need at least 2 effort to make it possible.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Should I tell you my minor effect suggestion as well, Scrat? As
Yes,
that is
please.
a thank you.
Please do.
You step on the target, and your immense weight prevents it from moving on its next turn.
We'll make that on a failed save then. So, Bonnie, we're upping the ante here.
All right. Ooh. Okay. I think. Ooh. Can I potentially once again dip into my control the field and try to use that to slip just out of the way of the crushing blow from the Hummer?
I'm afraid control the field is an offensive action, not a defensive action.
All right. Well, then in that case, I don't know if I'm going to quite be able to get it.
Oh. That's 12?
I'll do my re-roll and see if I can make it slightly less not bad.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
It's not gonna be good, but I can make it less not bad.
Hey! We literally are playing with a coin. Rack both things up. So unfortunately, because it was difficulty 8, that's still only going to beat difficulty 6. What we'll do is... I think the major effect will cancel out the minor effect if we're okay with that. If we're okay with the major effects being disproportionately balanced. But Bonnie, you do lose the place.
Fair.
And so...
Well, alright.
yeah, like as Glass nearly steps on you. I mean, you know, we don't kink shame here. You might be into that. Last and most certainly not least is Jack.
He's gonna kick in the afterburners and try and make up some ground.
Bonnie, you can see Bonnie ahead of you, narrowly avoiding Glass's foot. Yeah.
Put in a bit of effort.
Even with the effort, that is only a difficulty 4. Bonnie, no more rerolls, no more advantages.
No or nothing.
Difficulty 4 speed roll to stop yourself getting overtaken. This is the last roll of the game, so this is the difference between third place and last. Oh, there it goes. Bonnie, perhaps shocked by Glass. Unfortunately, Jack's just going to slip by you. And Maisie, you cross the finish line. You are first place. You are welcomed with cocoa and a blanket. Glass follows some time after, and Glass, they don't really know what to offer you, but one of them has a rock garden, and they are sort of just showing it to you, not really sure how it's going to work. Jack, you come in third, and the cameras and things still flock to you, even though third isn't first. They still flock to you. And Bonnie, coming in last, somehow it looks like Guinevere is approaching you with a mug of cocoa, but you can see it's not Guinevere. Her hair is a different color. This must be Guinevere's sister, gifting you cocoa. That's
Glass.
That's the race.
Can I ask a favor?
What is the favor?
Will you use your car to make a hot tub?
Yes.
Sure. So, final scene, hot tub scene?
Also, I want to speak to Bonnie because I almost crushed her.
We can certainly do that in a hot tub.
Yep.
I think everyone either has hot cocoa or lava in a cup. and is in their swim swammies.
No, Jack's still in the suit. He never really takes that off, but
He has to show all of his sponsor logos at all times.
it's contractual. Yeah.
Bonnie, I am so sorry. When I popped out of the lake, I almost didn't see you there. I would have hated to have squished my new friend.
You know what? We can attribute the success of, the non-squishing to the glasses you gave me. A reminder of you and maybe a help to my eyesight. So, and you know what? Anytime I get to go somewhere and see a new sunset, that's a win. So why don't we all enjoy that together?
I like that. Also, Maisie, I have a gift for you. The box is a little wet, but because we're in a hot tub.
Oh, thank you. And I open it.
And its glasses exactly like his.
I'll definitely put them on right now.
I give
How'd
these
they look?
glasses to my friends, and I think they look cool on you.
Thank you.
I think we all look pretty cool.
I'm actually pretty warm in the hot tub, but yeah.
Jack takes off his helmet to reveal he was wearing the sunglasses underneath the whole time.
You melt my stone heart.
I'm just so glad that we had an exciting race. It was rather fun. Lots of twists and turns, and I'm sure the media will just eat it up.
I wouldn't call it a textbook, no nonsense race, but I would say there was honor in every turn.
And if there's nothing more, I think that's where we'll end our one-shot this week. How are we all feeling, everyone?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Good, wholesome and fun.
Did we do it? Were we wholesome?
I think we were. Someone just said this is so pure, and it's not saying wholesome, but it's close enough for me. We set things on fire, we smashed ice lakes, we threw boulders off of crevices, and it was somehow wholesome. Let's go round and say hi to everyone. Let's talk about who we are, where we can find each other online, all the wonderful things that we do, and what our favorite moment was in this one shot. And this time, let's start with Mage Hand Press. Justin.
Oh, hi. I'm Justin with Mage Hand Press. We make stuff for 5e. We just made it publicly available, the Taverns and Tankard supplement that you can see used excessively in Riders of the Storm on Scrat's channel on Thursdays. It's pretty great. Also, Mackenzie uses the drinks from the book to
excellent effect on Keepers of the Lost. That's on Fridays on Encounter Roleplay. But yeah, if you're interested in either playing a whole 5e campaign, haha, WOTC, your lawyers can't come after me. Check out the book. We've got everything to never leave that tavern, or just simply enhance the tavern when you do visit.
Fantastic. Yeah. And what was your favorite part of this session today?
I think it was the sharing of the glasses with everyone.
I can't help but think Squirtle Squad. We talked about Pokemon earlier. It's in my head. Next around, let's go to Sarah L. Kinney. Sarah, how was that for you?
This was super fun. This is my first time playing in the Cypher system, and I like how it is robust enough to have some crunchiness when you want it, but can still be pretty narrative focused. And you can kind of ignore what you want when you want to, which is great.
Yeah. And favorite scene?
So I think I am a sucker for showboating, so I loved it when Joe got up and was on the bike standing up, even though it provided no mechanical effects, just looked awesome, and was, really showing off all those sponsorships.
Yeah, fantastic. And so you say this is your first stream game online. Can we find you anywhere else? You just on Twitter? Or?
So I'm Sarah L. Kinney on Twitter. I tweet mostly about role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, and baking and cooking. But then I'm also a player on a actual play Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition podcast called Little Realms. So you can find us at Pod Realms on Twitter. And it's a fun kind of murder mystery investigator game where we barely ever roll dice.
Fantastic. I love sessions like that.
Yeah.
I love sessions where you never roll dice, and I love sessions when you never leave the pub. Those are some of my favorite sessions.
Yep.
If you're in chat, feel free to post a link in chat to your podcast. If you're not, put it in the Zoom chat, and I'll post it for you.
Perfect.
Next, let's go around to Edgar Allan Joe. Joe, same questions.
Hey. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. My name is Joe. This is also my first time playing Cypher System. D&D is my bread and butter, especially 5th edition. I do a podcast called Dear DM over on Nerdsmith, where I talk to people send in their questions about running the game, and I discuss it with various DMs. We have Matt Mercer, Keith Baker, a bunch of different DMs that are you want to get answers from, and we just talk about running D&D. I think my favorite moment was probably the moment where it was the moment where we managed to not all go off the cliff, the combination of the boulder and heroically Bonnie just nabbing clueless Jack onto the bike and saving his life. Probably that whole sequence was very fun.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Big shout out to Nerdsmith as well. I can't remember if it's Nerdsmith or We Are Nerdsmith, so I've shouted out both in chat.
It's We Are Nerdsmith on Twitch, but the name of the organization is Nerdsmith.
Fantastic. I thought as much. I did Nerdsmith, and then I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Thank you so much, Joe. It was a pleasure to have you. Last but most certainly not least, our victor, 10 weeks in, first win, Kylie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, 10 weeks in. It's been a long time coming to get a win.
Yeah, I just have so many of these rings,
It's time for someone else. I am Stonefly_Kai on both Twitch and Twitter. I talk a lot on my Twitter about tabletop roleplay games. I do some art on my Twitter and play some Magic. Or Twitch.
Yeah.
They both start with T's.
They do. And we tuned in just the other day seeing you play some Magic. It was really nice to see. I'm completely new. I'm completely new to Magic, so it was quite nice seeing someone not very good and sort of working it out. It helped me work it out a little bit because I honestly don't have time to learn it myself, and I get the same cathartic feeling of achievement watching someone else do it. that's it from us today, guys. My favorite part of today's session, I think, is got to be. Don't get me wrong, we did lots of wonderful, wholesome things, but I think we got 12 nat 1s and probably a very similar amount of nat 20s, and that happens very rarely. So my favorite part is the record we set. And the way that you guys all bounced off of it and worked with me through all of the nat 1s and everything. So thank you all very much for that. Wonderful players. Wonderful. We will go on a raid. So if we have a raid cry, please get ready to pop it. Otherwise, we will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST with some Hidden Scars, our Dark Heresy 2e Warhammer 40k campaign, where I've accidentally become a heretic and I'm converting heretics, but I haven't told my regular cast member yet. Well, I've told my regular cast player, but we haven't told their character, so it's a bit tense. And we will be back at the same time next week for more cartoon karting. Until next time, guys, keep on evoking emotions, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye!